Good evening and salutations, my Days of Lives fans. Just to recap yesterday's episode, because I didn't get a chance to review it, but I did watch it. I didn't care for it. It was 37 minutes of an exact waste of time. And, yeah, I'll leave it at that. So, going into today's episode, here's the thing. I don't know who decided that it was a good idea to add Holly into this show, but, they need to be fired. They need to be fired. Every scene with her is just exhausting and it's annoying. This woman comes across as a self-centered brat, okay? And that's me putting it lightly. The reason why she doesn't want her mom to marry EJ is because if that happens, then it'll be weird between her and Johnny. So essentially, she's just saying, after mom's happiness, I want to make this about me. Even the, see, here's the thing. Even the fantasy scene with her and Johnny holding hands is weird as F to me. Okay? Because we know that Holly's 16. The last time I checked, she's 16 years old, and Johnny is clearly over 21. So even a scene like that is just weird. It's just weird. This whole thing does not work for me. I don't know who it's supposed to work for, but it's damn sure not working for me. And it's not just because she's just an obnoxious POS. It's because the chick is 16 years old, and it's just weird. Okay, it's giving me vibes. I don't want to sit there and say what they are, but it's just weird. But she decides to tell her mom in front of Johnny and EJ that she doesn't think it's a good idea that they get married. I'm like, wow, okay, cool, let's just make this about you. But of course, she has to sit there and tell a good reason. Uh, Eric. Yeah, Eric. Now, I know people sit there, and I can agree that Nicole is one of those type of people that she'll be with you until Eric is available, and then she'll sit there and flip flop because that's just her pattern, right? So it's not that much of a it's not that much of a surprise that she would sit there and just mention Eric and coming up with reasons why Nicole should be with Eric. But then when Nicole was sitting there asking her, "Hey, why don't you sit there and wear that green dress or whatever?" She wanted to wear the black one. I'm like, this is a wedding, not a funeral. But she agrees to wear the green dress. So what does her stupid ass wind up doing? Of course, she wears the black dress. Um, Johnny's like, well, I don't understand why you don't want our parents to get married, and she just has that stupid look on her face because why not? Again, I don't know who was the deciding factor to put Holly on the show, but they need to be fired. Point blank period. They just need to be fired. And if they're not fired, can they just like cut a month worth of checks from them? Like just hold their salary for a month. Okay, just because I feel like that was just a extremely bad idea. You got Shen. He still can't get over he still can't get over Gabby. I was like, what did this woman do to you to make you that sprung over her? He talks about his history. He had one other serious girlfriend, which was in high school. I'm like, bro, seriously? So between high school and now, it was just nothing in between? Like, what? I'm like, no wonder why you're so damn strong on this chick. And of course, he talks about how his father, with Marlena, he talks about how his father effed him over by, because they were a different class system. The dad is very old school, which shows just how piss poor that he treats his daughter, and basically offered his girlfriend's dad a higher paying job if they would break up. I'm just like, wow, your dad is a piece of garbage. Like, just to put it mildly. He walks out the session. He gets a call from Gabby, and because Gabby and Stefan is like Pinky in the brain at this point, right? They're plotting in the bed about how to screw over people so this way they can get what they can get what they want. They can get their money and their shares and everything like that. They can take over the world. Blah 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 blah. So she calls him up, and she was like, "Bro, you could just ignore the call. You just had a conversation with Marlena about letting go of this chick. So what does your dumb ass decide to do? Oh, I'm gonna answer the phone." And she's all like, "Oh, I've been kidnapped." And it's like, no, my whole thing is like, when is this chick leaving? When is Gabby leaving? When is I can't remember her name, but when is this chick leaving? I don't know. I was never a Gabby fan. I don't hate her. I don't really care for her either way. EJ asked Chad to perform the wedding. He agrees, and of course they're talking about his argument that he had with Stephanie, and I'm just like, bro, just break up. Seriously, just do y'all both a favor and break up because I don't even understand why you're still living together. When you have a serious conversation like that, when one person wants to get married, the other person doesn't, you know what you do? You decide to go separate ways because clearly this is not going to work. You're not going to change this person's mind, and you're not going to sit there and change Chaz's mind. And Stephanie shouldn't have to sit there and wait to be with somebody, to be married. If that's not what he wants, then leave and find somebody else who actually does want what you want. The fact that they're actually still sleeping together and they're still sharing a place, I'm like, what are you doing? Chad, you have money. You can sit there and leave. You can go back to the mansion. You could do any one of those any one of those things. Instead, you want to sit there and wake up and have these conversations. It's like a wounded animal. Just put it out of his goddamn misery at this point. That's what I feel like the relationship is. Just put it out of his misery already. And put us out of our misery at this point too, because I'm gonna be honest, this isn't exactly entertaining. I just feel like y'all two are grown as adults. What are y'all doing? What is taking so long? Oh yeah, I forgot that Tate was actually in this episode, talking to Eric about Holly and how he wants to be with her, and he feels that the person that she wants to be with is all wrong for her because you know he is way older than her. Why he wants to be with her is beyond me, but sure, whatever. Johnny comes in. Eric finds out that Nicole's getting married, and he's sitting on the bench, looking super depressed, like he doesn't have an extremely attractive woman that he is still living with. Ain't that something, bro? What does that even sit there and say about your relationship with Sloan if you are sitting on a park bench upset that your ex girlfriend or your ex wife or whatever is marrying somebody else, while your girlfriend is simply trying to secure a baby for you? She tried to have she twice. And your ungrateful ass is sitting on the bench being depressed about Nicole being with some. I see. This is exactly why I do not like Nicole and Eric. I really, because both of them just come across as extremely ungrateful, disrespectful towards the people that they're with. And again, this is one of those things where it's like, and this is why, in a lot of ways, when I go on Instagram and I look at soap stuff, and I see people talk about, oh, they love Nicole and Eric together, and I just kind of roll my eyes. It's just like, can they just be together and just put everyone else out their misery? Like, why don't they just do that? Like, I haven't watched the show that long, but watching Nicole be with Rafe, and then I don't know who else she was with, but watching her be with Rafe just to go back to Eric was like, wow, you're just the worst. She did all that, and then now she's with EJ, and of course, EJ. I got my own issues with him, even though I like him. I got my own issues with him. She still wants to be with Eric. I'm like, I can't take her seriously. I know some people sit there and say they can't take Rafe seriously, but like, I can't take her seriously. I really can't. Because it's like, it doesn't matter who she's with. She's just going to sit there and go back to being with Eric. And it's pointless at this stage of the show. Um, Let's see. Let me just double check. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't think of anything else, but as I always sit there and say, if I miss anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and the Beautiful, and Young and the Restless. That being said, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.